What is up? My name is Lee, and this is the No Cap interview with the one and only Sukruth. Hi, man. Welcome.
What up? What up?
What up?
How's it going?
Now, you were once a metalhead,
Right.
and he performed with Brodha V on MTV Hustle,
Right.
with A.R. Rahman on MTV Unplugged, and now you're out with two singles.
Right.
Congratulations. Never is a beautiful song, but I loved
Thank
it.
you.
It's a
Thank
beautiful song.
Thank you.
Tell us about yourself. Tell us about who Sukruth really is.
Well, I'm Sukruth. I come from Bangalore, and I've been making music for 24 years now, and performing at least. Up until now, I was working with different musicians and different sessions, and I used to play guitars for sessions. Literally anything, any recordings, anything at all. Trying to get trying to get my session chops going. But then probably when my metal band started, as you mentioned, I started my metal band when I was 16, 17 years old, because
Wow.
it was a way for me to get away from not having to, like, basically just break the stereotype. Because at that time, probably 10 years ago, making pop music and singing wasn't really the thing, because it was hard to it was hard to convince people, or it was hard for me to convince my parents in the first place, because they're musicians as well for 50
Right.
years now.
Okay.
So yeah, so it was hard for me to convince them that I was going to sing English music and not Kannada or Tamil or whatever. So one way to kind of get my way was to start a metal band and just completely ditch singing and get into playing guitars and do that. So yeah, that was one way for me to not be in the whole stereotype and break the stereotype, basically. But I couldn't convince my parents back then, because I thought they wouldn't really agree for me to sing in English and make the music that I really wanted to make. So that was my way of that was one of the reasons why I started a metal band and got into the rock scene, because back in 2009, there was a lot of rock and metal scene happening, with a lot of college festivals, and there was a lot of opportunities. So I thought that was one way for me to get out of the country and maybe get the international, become an international actor, become an international artist, which is what I've always wanted. But then the scene isn't really what it seems, because it's just the college festivals, it's just those things, and it's not really going to pay anything. Once you've been doing it for so long, you realize that it doesn't pay anything. The shows you can't really support it. Thankfully, I have a full-fledged studio in Bangalore. I run a studio, so that was one of the reasons why I could actually do all these things and try out different things. And then I went and started learning operatic vocals, Western classical music in KM Music Conservatory in Chennai, which is A.R. Rahman's institution. That's where it kind of started making more sense for me to not be scared, first of all, to try out different things. Because for me, the most important thing was for me to make my parents, convince them that I was going to do this more than anybody else, because them being successful musicians, it was more important for them to kind of let go of control and let me do what I really wanted to and what I was good at. And KM kind of helped, because I moved out of my house and I moved to Chennai and all of those things. That's when the whole thing with Brodha V started. I recorded him for one of his tracks, Round in my studio. That's when we kind of realized that we had similar, all my bandmates were working with him and playing with him, and it was kind of similar friends in the same group. And then he was looking for a vocalist, and he had put a post on Facebook saying, I'm looking for a vocalist.
Social media, man.
Yeah, collaborate. And I'm not a social media guy, I at least wasn't, but this worked out in my favor. And I hit him up saying, dude, let's meet and let's see how it works out.
I think you are a social media guy, because I stalked your Facebook vigorously last
Right.
night. I went through it, and I went through all your old quarantine pictures. Oh my God. Now, quarantine is banned, guys, not post-COVID, in COVID times.
That was the weird thing. Yes, yes.
And
Someone
you had
made
long hair. You were proper
Yes.
metalhead. It was crazy. I was
Yes.
wait, this is the same dude? So, what changed? How come you want to make your song Never? It's completely, it's not metal at all. There's no trace of any shredding, nothing, right?
Right.
But, so how did that come about? Tell me about the story about the song.
No, so with to start off with, the way I am as a person is I'm not really like a metalhead or a pop guy or like a hip hop guy. That's not how it's been for me, because I started learning music when I was 2 years old. So I've never really been I've never been able to put myself in a box. That's not how it works for me. I tell myself this, which is I feel like I'm a chameleon sometimes, where whatever I want to do, I can do it. Whatever that is in terms of music, because I've been doing it for so long now. When I put myself into something, I can kind of dial it in and I can start doing. That was metal. I'd never heard a metal band before that. I was always into pop because my parents are in the industry, and pop music has always been there. And Michael Jackson and like Backstreet Boys and all of these things. When I was in like 5th grade, 6th grade, my cousins used to play Green Day and stuff like that. So that's when I got introduced to all these things. But then again, like I mentioned, I couldn't really convince them of doing this, or I thought, okay, I can't even bring this in. I can't even bring this
up. Blasphemous, you bring,
Yes, I was scared because both my parents are classical musicians. So even though they are in the movie business, I thought, okay, this is not gonna happen. I'm gonna get beaten up if I tell them that I'm gonna sing in English. So that's where the whole metal thing started. And now I realize that after starting the whole thing with Brodha V, I realized that's what I wanted to do, because I want to reach more people. I want to convey messages through my songs that is like a healing. Songs for me in metal, at least, I was writing all the music. I was not really part of the lyrics. I was not really in that ever. And now I started realizing that I had so many stories that I wanted to say, and I kept going towards pop. Like I kept listening to Ariana Grande or the new Justin Bieber stuff, or Charlie Puth or Weekend for that matter. And even in that pain, if you help someone understand or kind of realize their pain, you can let it go. So that was my thing. Like I wanted to do that. I wanted to serve in that way rather than just make music and just make music that really doesn't connect with me only. Because so many things with metal, I mean, honestly, with my metal band, it was just the music. To date, I know the songs, I know what they mean, but I don't know exactly what he's talking about. So it was all about music for me. But this time, because I was going to do all this alone, and you can't really find producers in Bangalore, at least, that can make pop music the way I want to make.
So you've produced and written everything. It's all you.
Yes.
That's amazing. And the song has got 1.5 lakh views, I think, on YouTube.
Almost, yes.
That's brilliant, and it's a great song.
Thank you.
What does the song mean to you when you wrote it? Like, what was the idea behind this song for you?
So when I was writing Never, I'd come out of a really bad relationship, and that breakup had messed my life up. Because I had a pretty rough childhood, because I was always performing. I was a TV host in Sun Networks, and I was an anchor. I was a news anchor. I was doing all these things, and I never really had a childhood. I was always in front of the camera. I was always doing something or singing or all the time. And when the relationship kind of fell apart, it was bad for me. My mental health took a bad turn, and I kind of pulled myself back up and did everything that I had to. And then when I started this project, I was almost towards my mental health was almost there, but still not there.
Right.
So I kept thinking about, like, every time I used to go for a drive, I used to think about how horrible the pain was. Like, it was not about the person anymore. It was not about what they did or what anyone else did. But just that one thing just triggered so much pain in me that, like, it became dystopian almost. Like, I forgot that I was living with, like, I forgot my friends. I forgot I had a band. I forgot so many things. And that was, like, it was a very dark period for me, where I, for example, like, I forgot I had a band. That was bad, because crazy, 2016 we had just released an album, and then all this happened, and I was touring with Brodha V, and I forgot that I had a band. And I completely gave up on the band. Like, I did nothing with the band's album, nothing.
Did they not call you, but like, bro, like?
No, I mean, it was my band, so they were not really gonna ask me to do more because I had done everything up until then. But they were calling me, asking me, what's exactly happening? We're not getting any shows. Why are you not coming here for jams? What's happening? But I was just completely off. It was dystopian for me. So when I was writing Never, it was almost like I stumbled upon a bunch of chords that I didn't want, I didn't really want to, because I was just messing around with the piano, and it was like my 4th or 5th song that I was writing for this project, and nothing had come out, nothing that I had written was good.
Okay.
Everything was just trash before that. And then this was the first song where the chords were simple, the beat was simple, and I had a new synthesizer, and I was trying out new sounds, and that dystopian kind of story that I wanted to say it just came through. And for me, this song is about, when you go through so much pain, you go into those dystopian worlds inside your mind. And your mind can take a hit. And it's about reflecting in those times, whether if you ever had the chance to go back, would you let that person go? Would you ever go back and say, okay, if I had chance to not let this person go, would you not let the person go? So I'm basically just going, I'd never let you go. So that it's just a way of maybe thinking that I wouldn't maybe have to go through so much pain. So many people go through stuff like this. So it's about them finding that, it's not really you. You're not really alone in feeling that way, because you can't really go back and change anything.
Yeah.
Right? And you wouldn't really want to stop a person who wants to leave you, because
it's their choice at the end of the day. Yeah.
It's their choice, but it's probably not the best thing for you to stop someone from leaving, because there's no relationship there. So, but we do feel all those feelings. We are humans, and we do have those moments where we think, can we go back and stop this from happening and not go through so much pain, and would everything just turn out differently?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it was one of those things.
Right. I mean, the song is beautiful, and I feel like what you said really makes sense, because you had to go through that pain to actually make the song.
Right.
So if you didn't do that, then the song wouldn't be here at the moment. I mean, we don't know that.
Yeah.
No, but actually, at the same time,
it's true. If I hadn't gone through that pain and all those things, I don't think I would have made this music in the first place.
Right.
I don't think I would have. I don't know what I would have done, because I was thinking about this. I was struggling with my decisions of staying in Chennai and playback singing and all that, because those messages, those songs that I was getting, I wasn't really enjoying, and it wasn't really making sense for what I wanted to do. But this kind of shut me off and kind of just helped me recoup and gather myself. And thankfully, I had people like Brodha V who could make me understand, from his point of view, how everything works, because he is who he is, and that's what I wanted to do in the first place. So not rap, of course, but independent music and English music, and he's the only successful English rapper, English musician you can find.
Yeah, I mean, one of them, because so many coming
level,
up. Yeah, that level, definitely.
So
he's definitely at the top.
Yeah, so for me to have that relationship with him at that point really kind of helped me figure out what I want to do, and that's where all this kind of started.
That's my next question actually is that if you weren't a musician,
right,
who would you be today? Have you ever thought about that?
Right. I don't think I've ever thought about it. If I wasn't a musician, probably, I don't know, I would probably be
Dr. Sukruth.
No. No. I'm the worst at studies. I hate studies. I hate it.
You grew up in Bangalore,
I don't hate education per se, but I'm not a school kind of guy. I'm not a book kind of guy.
Cue Pink Floyd right now.
That's not me.
Did you go to school in Bangalore? You went to school in Bangalore.
Yes.
Which school did you go to in Bangalore?
Kumarans.
Okay, interesting. Nice.
Yeah.
I grew up in Bangalore too. I went to the Frank Anthony Public School.
Oh, where's that?
aka FAPS. Have you heard of FAPS?
No.
Oh, it's in Alsur.
Oh,
and
right.
We get trolled for our name all the time because
Right.
it's I'm not gonna go there right now. I'm just gonna keep that for that.
Right.
Now, which artist would you love to collaborate with in the indie scene at the moment?
In India?
In India, yeah.
Brodha V.
Brodha V?
Yeah.
I mean, you already have the contact. You can literally call him up and be like,
talks are
hey.
happening and we are working on something. But yeah.
That's a teaser. Thank you so much for that. Exclusive on the No Cap Show. Yeah.
Yes, exclusive. We are working on something, but it has to work for him and it has to work for me as well.
Perfect, yeah.
Because we both are quite different when it comes to the way we make music, but it is still pop. He is still a hip-hop kind of guy, not hip-hop.
Right,
because he has a lot of pop elements in his music. So it's about finding the right balance and... yeah, it is happening. That is a fact.
Exciting. Very exciting.
Very exciting, yes.
So do you call yourself a musician, a singer, a producer? What do you usually call yourself?
I guess I am primarily a singer, but I've had to do literally everything. Like
Right.
I've had to record myself, I've had to edit all the stuff. So yeah, I mean, singer, songwriter,
Producer.
music producer, recording engineer, whatever.
Everything.
Yeah.
He's a studio himself.
Yeah.
I think Sukruth is a studio
Yeah, I mean,
himself.
like I wanted to train myself in I basically produced bands like Agam
Right.
and Kryptos and Inner Sanctum and all of these guys from Bangalore in my studio. So it was about getting to know all the different things in the industry and not just being just a singer, because that just doesn't work.
Right.
Because I'm not in LA or I'm not in New York, and this is like pop music is not really natural over here, like at least the kind of pop music that I'm making. So I should be able to like record myself and write anything and everything, do everything by myself. Otherwise this project doesn't go anywhere.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. What do you think about the Bangalore indie scene at the moment? Like, I think it's picking up a bit. We've got a lot of producers and artists out there.
Yes.
And what do you think about that?
There's a lot of artists nowadays that are breaking the stereotype and
Right.
not really, doing things just for the sake of money or just for the sake of fame, which is amazing, because that's what you want to see. There are so many brilliant artists. I mean, we are a country of 1.3 billion people.
Yeah.
And we are fans of all the artists
Outside,
in
yeah.
America, UK. That doesn't make any sense.
Completely agree.
And I'm 100% sure there are artists over here that I know
10 times better.
Yeah, who'll be better at like literally everything than everybody in the world. But then like it's just about things starting and people sticking with it.
Yeah.
And just seeing through, because it is hard. It is not easy.
No.
It's not easy because majority of people don't really listen to that music. But most of these artists from other countries who are superstars have massive followings from India. And like all these YouTubers are making like Indian, almost content for Indians, because they know the market that is India and the amount of people that do listen and watch like English stuff.
Yeah.
But there isn't anybody apart from like Brodha V that I know who's doing it in such a big, massive, size, who's anywhere close to that. So more people need to be brave and more people need to just do what it is. Yeah. What it is.
And
I
think
it's going to be hard. But
the support from the audience itself is like really picking up at the moment.
Yes.
I think people are finally realizing there's good music here in Bangalore.
Yes.
And in India itself, there's
Yeah.
awesome music here.
Yeah.
And with Never, we finally get to see good music coming out again. Like from, so many artists are coming out.
Thank you.
Can't wait to, play the song on the radio also
Thank
one
you.
day.
Yes.
Definitely. I think it's happening soon.
Yes. I'm
Now,
super
one
excited about
advice
Right.
that you still live by till this day, that someone has told you and you still think, okay, I'm going to go back to that.
Right. One advice is, I mean, most of the times, like right now, everything that I do is not advice that has been given by somebody else. But one advice that I follow is advice my parents gave me, which is practice. My practice is the reason why I'm here.
Yeah.
Like, I have not stopped practicing since like 2015, 16. I think probably for like 7 years now, I might have missed probably maximum of 100 days, 120 days. No matter where I was actually sitting outside your station and practicing because I have a jam to go to now.
Amazing.
So I was sitting outside, I turned my car on and I was practicing. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I live by, because without that, I'm nothing. Like if I'm not absolutely grinding away at like being the best in my practice room, then I'm not going to be able to be the best at anything outside. It's
Right.
not possible. So one thing that I live by is just practice, discipline, the right, like eating right. And for me, I'm very clear about what I'm doing, why I'm here, and the steps that I've taken till now. And I follow every single thing that I have. I have a very strict regime that people find crazy, even musicians find crazy. But for me, it's about health, and it's about a long-term goal, rather than just doing something for 5 years and then just giving up. That's not really who I am. It's about surviving. It's about being there for the long term, and probably doing this when I'm 70 years old.
It's the hustle at the end of the day.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think many musicians right now don't understand that it is practice. Like, you don't start off at that level immediately. You have to start from the bottom and just work your way up.
Yeah, I think that's the disadvantage that comes with social media, right? Because it's like one thing that goes viral, some dumb thing that goes viral. I'm not calling anybody's content dumb, but like something that is just super simple goes viral today, and that person's a superstar tomorrow.
Right.
And everyone's looking at them like,
what's next?
That person is the next Ariana Grande or someone. But when you actually see people like, example, Ariana Grande or somebody else, I love Ariana, by the way, but I'm going to keep using her name and calling her out. But someone like her, it's the amount of work they've put in as a singer or as an artist that is the reason why they're wherever they are right now. And people don't understand that it's 90% your practice room or your gym, or let's call it gym, like your studio or your practice place, and 10% of all of your content in every show that you play.
Correct.
That's it. Because everything that you do in your practice room is what is going to come out in your shows. So you might be really excited first 2 years, 3 years, you're like, okay, I'm gigging, I'm making money, I'm doing whatever. 5, 6, 7 years, 10 years, 12 years down the lane, if you have not taken care of yourself, your voice, you're not eating right, you're not drinking the right temperature of water and all of these things, as a singer, you're done. You're going to start having a lot of issues, because as you get older, your body is not really the same. So you start when you're 17, but when you're 27, can you do the exact same thing? When you're 37, can you do the exact same thing or probably be better? So for me, it's all about that. Because I've seen my parents do this for 45, 48 years, and they were never home.
Right.
And I've seen my dad lose his voice, and my mom kind of have so many health issues, because they didn't really understand that it's not just about going out and playing, or it's not just about performances. It's about taking care of yourself and doing the right practice.
Right.
Like, practice is not just about vocal practice or guitar practice or piano practice or whatever your instrument is.
It's practice in life in general.
It's about all the practices in life that kind of help that lifestyle that you have, because our lifestyle is very different.
That's true.
It's not like somebody else's lifestyle. So if you don't really hack your way into it, it's only time before your body starts to break down. It's not going to listen to you.
And what are some hacks that you follow?
Oh, I'm a little too particular about, I'm very particular about things. So since 2015, like when I started KM, since then I haven't, my lunch is just boiled vegetables.
Okay. Wow.
No salt, no sugar, nothing. And it is shocking for everybody, but I started doing that because in Chennai it is so hot, and just eating any kind of hot food or curry or chapatis or all
makes
of these
you sleepy
things
afterwards.
No, it was not even about sleepy. It was just not possible.
Right.
It's so hot all the time, and you're sweating all the time. So just having vegetables was a very light thing for me, and I started really liking it, and I started realizing the difference in my voice, and my tonality and my resonance in my voice really started improving. And there was no phlegm, there was no gas issues, there was no burning issues, nothing. And that's when I realized that, everything that we eat is it's so important.
Yeah.
So I'm almost like a robot. I have eggs in the morning. I just have vegetables in the afternoon, and probably have some snacks, whatever, no milk, and a couple of chapatis in the night. And this has been going on since 2015.
Wow.
I do have pizzas. I love pizzas. I do go ahead and eat pizzas and stuff now and then, but I'm quite strict when it comes to this, so that when it comes to gigs or I'm somewhere outside, because of this discipline and because of me being this in my daily life, one of those days where I won't get to eat properly or I won't get to practice properly, it doesn't affect me. Like my performance levels probably drops by like a couple of %, but I'm still like 98% over there.
Whoa.
In my shows. That's what is the most important, because it's probably one show or probably 10 shows in a month, but that what you do 30 days before that is what kind of almost determines how you perform those 10 shows.
My eating habits are so bad. This morning I had pizza for breakfast. I'm not even joking. We all had pizza in the office for breakfast. That's how messed up my day. I think I'm going to take a picture of your book.
Right.
Very, very important.
It's going to be boring, but...
No, but you know what? I think that's fine. As long as if it's boring now, but later on in life, when I think I'll look back and be like, thank you so much. Sukruth, you helped me.
Yeah, I can write down what I eat if
definitely.
It helps
I'll send the recipe online. Definitely. Send it out. Now, let's... you like Marvel, I heard.
Yes,
you were talking about
I
that.
love Marvel.
And did you watch the new Thor movie?
No, I haven't. I haven't gotten time with the release. It's been a week now since the release came. So I haven't had the time, but now there's a show coming up as well. So I have some jam sessions happening. And so I'm not finding time to go. It's been 2 years since I've played a show. After 2019 NH7, I haven't gone out and played a show. It's not happened. So now we are coming back. And so it's like long jam sessions, and I'm not able to like go sit down, get a bucket of popcorn and watch the movie, but I'm going to do that.
But what are your favorite Marvel movies like that you really enjoy?
I'm a huge Spider-Man fan.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my God. No Way Home
was honestly
unbelievable.
I lost my voice
5-6 times.
I watched it thrice in theaters in IMAX.
Right.
I was so excited for this movie. And, dude, I lost my voice when they came on screen for the first time. I was like, yes.
When all of them came together, I mean, I don't think it's what do you say? I think everyone's watched the movie by now, so I'm not really going to be spoiling anything for anyone.
We've all seen it. It's on Netflix also. If you haven't seen the movie, it's too bad.
Right, it's on Netflix as well. Yeah, it's too bad. But when all of them come together in the screen, it's just like when I saw Tobey Maguire come, I was like,
that's my OG Spider-Man.
Kill me now. I think I'm done. Like I'm cool. Like it's
that's my OG Spider-Man. Like I grew up with Tobey, so.
Yeah. And I'm a massive Spider-Man fan, but I'm also like Endgame was probably one of the best cinema that has ever been shot. Like everything, like in terms of how the story kind of came about till then and how it was executed, because most of the things when it's that big in the world and so many people are following, it just tends to like fall short, right?
Yeah.
Like Game of Thrones, for example. Like
that last season, man, I'm still disappointed about
horrible.
that.
Like it had some HDR issues and stuff. Like I was watching on a 4K TV and the blacks were just so black. I was like, what's happening? And I put it on my phone and I started watching because I couldn't see the scenes. I'm like, what's happening? And they had some issues with the way they had shot the footage.
I mean, even the story itself, they completely fell short. It was so sad.
In the end, like spending so much time and investing so much time into it, and that's what happens. It was just like
very underwhelming. I was like so disappointed. Right. So here's the thing about Game of Thrones for me. I actually didn't watch it when the people were watching it.
Right.
I watched it after the last season came out. Right. And I was like, no, I'm binging it. And that's when I binged it. So I watched it in one stretch.
Right.
And I was still let down. I was like, no, it's not great at all.
It was horrible for me because I was like, Game of Thrones last season. Let's see what happens, because they've done so much. They've killed pretty much every character you ever loved. And you go to the end and it's the guy who can't walk. You're like, What is this? Like, what?
Completely
But that's the thing though, right? Like when so many people are invested in something like that, it tends to fall short.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because of the pressure that these directors have or the story guys have, but it tends to fall short. And
that's true.
That's where Endgame and what Marvel did with the whole those movies were just like unbelievable.
Here's a controversial opinion.
Right.
I actually like Infinity War better than Endgame.
Right. Why though?
I'll tell you why. I don't know. I think Infinity War for me was a better movie of sorts. Like Endgame was definitely very fan servicey.
Right.
You had like everyone coming together. Thanos is, he was beaten.
Yes.
But Infinity War left when I exited that theater. I was shocked because you didn't expect him to actually win. Right? You thought Endgame was going to be something, and they didn't even tell you anything about Endgame at that time.
Anything.
So Infinity War for me was actually like a revelation because they lose in that.
Right.
And it was a great movie to see everybody come through, right? You had the Guardians, you had Doctor Strange, you had all these cool interactions with everybody. And I don't know, this Infinity War for me was just a better movie.
Right. I loved Infinity War as well.
That first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That was the best.
Incredible.
It was the best.
Yeah.
And funny story, when I first watched Infinity War, I missed the first 10 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah, my friend was late and I was ready I was like, dude, keep up, let's go, we're missing it. And I walked in right when Infinity War, like the title sequence was playing. And I was like, dude, I missed the first 10 minutes. I watched it again though.
If it's Marvel movies, I'm always like half an hour early. I have my whole tub prepared, like everything's ready, dude. All the flavors mixed. And I'm just sitting and ready to go. Like,
my friend was late. I'm so annoyed with that. Like I'm still to this day, I still think about that.
We all have those friends, I guess.
So annoyed. But I watched it again and those first 10 minutes I was like glued. I was like, amazing.
It was I mean, Marvel, what they've done with their movies,
it
just shows like the creativity. It just shows the power of like storytelling. Even though none of it is real, right? It's all a bunch of comics, and it's just like you never go in and you never feel like it's a movie that's not really real. Right?
Really,
like
it just feels you're just escape. It's my escape zone, man. I love it.
Yeah. Do you play as well? Do you play PlayStation?
I play CS:GO. That's the only thing I do play. I'm a PC gamer.
Right.
Don't have a console.
Why I'm asking is
the Spider-Man game. Yeah, I know exactly what you're asking. I knew it.
Whenever I'm just like I've written a song and I'm just too fatigued, I just turn on my PlayStation. I just start swinging. Right. I just start swinging through like New York City. Go to like the toppest
and that sounds so relaxing. Actually,
it is.
Sounds so relaxing.
You don't have to beat anybody. You just go to the tallest building in New York and just jump from there and do a bunch of tricks. It's fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, and everybody listening and watching, Sukruth is in our studios. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
We had a lovely
Thank
conversation.
You for having me. Yes,
amazing.
Thank you.
Never is out, and do check it out. The link is in the bio. We'll see you later.
94.3 Radio 1.